What are the Backrooms? You may have heard recently about a modern day creepypasta or urban myth. Or something. It's called the Backrooms, and the idea is that these rooms exist outside of reality. They're huge, or rather they're fairly normal size, but they join together, and each one after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. And the weirdest thing is that they exist outside of reality completely. What are the Backrooms? Imagine blinking out of existence right now. You literally slip out of reality and fall into the Backrooms. But what are the Backrooms? Well, to be honest, nobody really knows. Many people believe they're set into levels, kind of like a game, where level 1 is easy and the subsequent levels become more and more difficult. There are said to be creatures that lurk around in these levels, in the dark, possibly, and they're not very friendly. It's claimed that these creatures are humanoid-ish in shape, but will attack on sight. None of this really explains what the Backrooms are though. So here's one theory. The Backrooms are the maintenance corridors that allow access to all time and space. The construction of the Backrooms is largely industrial, mainly concrete and other late 1900s building materials. They seem to be styled in 1950s to 1980s decor-ish, but always empty. There's no furniture, and while there is supposedly carpet, it's often damp and in disrepair. Similarly, the walls are also damp. Nowadays, there's not much talk of fairyland and being abducted by fairies to join the fairy hosts, but there's a huge similarity between the tales of the Backrooms and old accounts of fairy abductions from the 15th all the way through to the 19th centuries. For example, there's time dilation. Many people say that those who find themselves in the Backrooms lose track of time. If you've ever read Susanna Clarke's novel Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, or seen the BBC adaptation of it, you'll know that fairy abductions often look like grand places on Earth, but they're usually in a terrible state of disrepair. They might be palaces or old gentlemen's houses, but often they're really run down. Nowadays, of course, we don't all live in grand houses. We often, until the pandemic of course, end up spending an awful lot of time in the office, an office block. And so it stands to reason that fairyland, if it does exist, would actually keep pace with developments in the human world and offer up this twisted and disturbed version of reality. What's interesting is that in the 15th century all the way through to the 19th century, even the 1900s sometimes, the fairy abductions would keep pace with the current fashion and the current dwellings that people lived in. Many other elements are similar too, not being able to get out except through walls that act like doors, not conforming to laws of physics, that sort of thing. So corridors that lead to where you started, labyrinthine passageways, and rooms after rooms after rooms after rooms. Not to mention the disagreeable inhabitants. So what are the Backrooms? Well, it could just be that they are fairyland after all. Of course, there is lots and lots of conjecture around the Backrooms. It may just be that someone's just trying to scare us. They've apparently taken video footage of it, and it looks a bit like this.
There is a noticeable distinct mono-yellow color to the rooms, the sanity-leeching humming of the fluorescent bulbs above, the damp carpets on which you tread, and the seemingly endless halls.
Now, of course, I don't believe this sort of thing. I think it seems very, very unlikely. However, different dimensions are thought to be possible within the laws of physics. Not only that, they're also thought to be likely and thought to be not too far away from our current reality. Whether or not we are actually able to slip into that reality from time to time, I don't know. Of course, there are people who do go missing from time to time. Often they turn up. Generally, they don't say anything about the Backrooms. The people on the internet who claim to have been there seem to be faceless, nameless people who don't actually really exist. It's just sort of a friend of a friend of a friend, like uncle's neighbour's dog walker's sister, that sort of thing. it's not very closely related. You're not able to check out any of this stuff. You can't go on Snopes.com and do some fact checking, which would be quite nice if you could. That would be good. But you can't. So what are the Backrooms? Well, I'm afraid we're probably going to have to end this video on just I don't know. They might well just be a story that someone's made up to make us feel like we're in the Matrix. Of course, it does feel like we're in the Matrix sometimes, and especially with the pandemic, it feels very, very weird right now. But interestingly, an awful lot of scientists believe that we live in a simulation. If we do live in a simulation, and the Backrooms in particular is a little bit of a glitch in that, what can we do about it? Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson, for example, one of the foremost thinkers on this sort of theory, has said it's highly likely we live in a simulation, but even if we do, it shouldn't make any difference. And the reason being is that we're probably not going to be able to get out, and if we're not able to get out, we may as well treat it as if it's real. The only way to win at this game of life is to play it. So go out there and play it, but not before you click that like button, subscribe, ding that bell button to be notified, and I'll see you again in the next video with some more magical awesomeness. Head on over to Patreon, like these amazing people. You can get some awesome cool stuff, and you'll be supporting this channel at the same time, which will be great. That's it from me for now. I am going to be off. I will be back next time with some more magical awesomeness to keep your life awesome and magical and brilliant. And I'm working on a ghost fish tank as well, which should be up fairly soon. If it's not up already. Is it up already? I don't know. What am I talking about? Why do I keep on talking? I should stop now. Let's edit this. I've got loads of cool stuff on my website as well. The link is going to be down in the description. realworldmagic.net if you haven't already checked that out. Subscribe to my mailing list and I hand out stuff from time to time. So that's pretty much it from me for now. I've said that already, I think, and I'm going to go. Cheerio. Oh, and as always,
Stay magical.
So head on over to Patreon, like these amazing people, and you will get some awesome stuff. You'll also be supporting this channel at the same time, so that's pretty cool. Thanks for that. I know you haven't been there yet, but you will, I'm sure.
Please subscribe to Real World Magic. While you're there, click the bell button to be notified of future uploads, and have a look at all of my social stuff. Remember to donate on Patreon if you really, really liked it, and I'll see you again next week.